Hey guys. Hey William, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. I'm so glad you're
There you
here.
go. Good call.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah,
Ryan, how's it going?
I am fantastic. Happy to be here.
Yeah. We're here because I'm doing this thing on the WRKdefined Podcast Network.
Mhm.
I want to talk about that. I want to talk about what it is, the shows
Sure.
on there, why it's cool, why it may be dorky. I don't know, like all of that. But I want to start with getting to know the two of you. So, William, can you tell us who you are and what you're all about?
Sure. Started my career in marketing until I found out that I don't really like people in marketing, uh, or don't like people like me. Maybe it was a combination of both.
Yeah.
Um, Fell in love with recruiting, fell in love with HR, and transitioned from a marketing career that was actually pretty fun, quite frankly. Agency life. If you've ever watched Mad Men. Nothing's really changed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that still exists in modern advertising. And I love HR because they know all the darkness in a firm, yet they're still hopeful. At their core, they're still, I mean, they know the sexual harassment claims, the pay inequities, they like all the darkness, all the darkness, but they're still hopeful,
All
which
right.
I
Is that
love.
is that the theme for today? A little bit of self-loathing, a little bit of darkness, but also a little bit of optimism. I think that.
If you have me with optimism, that's stuff.
That's wrong.
Oh, I don't know if that's ever happened. That's
We're
like
gonna
a
make it happen. We're gonna make
that's
it
a
a thing.
unicorn.
Yeah. Well, that's what we
Yeah.
do on Punk Rock HR. Well,
There you-
I'm glad you're here, Ryan.
Yes.
I've known you for a lot of years, but I don't know really anything about you. So, who are you, and what are you all about?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
neither does most people. I way back. So I grew up in recruiting and sourcing in RPO world. But prior to that fun story, I was working with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, like every young lad does, coming out of school to wash cars
Yeah.
with your suit on. But I got in too many accidents. And yeah, got stuck in a car wash for my last accident, so I had to dismantle that thing around me.
Oh my God.
Awful.
Yeah.
Third accident, had to sit there for hours I knew I was losing my job.
Yeah.
As they did that, so that was cool. And then I fell into recruiting from there, and it's been recruiting ever since. And been through some agencies type stuff, and here we are now, William and
Yeah.
I, finally together. Although we
Mm,
worked together for
Yeah,
probably about 10 years or so. Yeah.
Who wants to tell me what the hell work defined is?
sure. So as a tech advisor, I love giving people advice and then not having to do any of the stuff that's related to the advice. And every tech company, pretty much every tech company in the world ever, there's always a pivot.
Hmm.
Right? There's always kind of a moment where they have to, oh my God, we're going to go and work in the fashion industry. And I've been able to avoid that because I just give advice and then I can go back to the stuff I do day to day.
Yeah.
When we created Work Defined, it was really, the thought was, let's do our 5 shows. Let's go sell some marketing services. Really just have our 5 shows and do advertising. And then once we got into it, pivot,
Mm-hmm.
we 6 months into it, we started adding other shows. And all of a sudden we started to learn the world of podcast networks.
Yeah.
So the Wonderies, the iHeart Radios, there's tons of them that are really, really great. And there really wasn't one that captured all things work. So every aspect of work, early stage careers, leadership, coaching, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we started researching, there's thousands of independent shows all over the world, and they don't have a home.
Mm.
And so we said, well, why don't we create a home? Okay, well, what would be the value of that? And the value that we came back to is kind of four-pronged. Deep analytics, so we can help them build their demo. Because eventually we're going to have inbound advertisers that want specific demographics. The promos of really kind of getting everybody up to a place. So somebody that just started a show like Brent Skinner or Bob Pulver, they just started a show. They don't have an audience. Well, other shows can help promote them. It's that. The potential of monetization, your show is by far, on our network, is by far the closest to actual monetization. People want to sponsor you. They love you. They love your show. They love the demographic. Like you're way ahead of everyone else. And a sense of community. So the fourth thing is just, we started in Slack, which Ryan and I agreed when we started the company that we would never use Slack
Yeah.
up until, again, pivot.
Pivot. Yeah.
We had 4 or 5 different hosts that say, hey, we would like to talk with the other host. Like, email can't do that. And then we looked around. It's like, okay, there's this thing called Slack. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But we eventually want to do training there as well and do more collaborations.
What do you want people to know and to think about when they think about WRKdefined Network right now? Is this the place where they can go and hear new ideas? Is this the place
Oh,
where they
yeah.
can go and experiment if they want a podcast? Like, what's the message out to the marketplace? And maybe, Ryan, let's start with you.
So I think there's 2 sides to this. I think one is, I'll start on the podcaster side. If you're in work, or you're in leadership or executive coaching, or anything that touches work, and you have everyone has a voice. If you want to share your voice, or you want to extend your voice from one platform to another, you want to go from video to just audio, or you want to bring video over, we would love to talk with you, because we're building that community of podcasters now, where it's not just necessarily our podcasters. We want other podcasters to come in and learn and grow with this. The second part to that is the community of people that are listening. In some cases, and William will have thoughts on this as well, in some cases, payroll, for example. We have shows on payroll that just blow it away, but they're not going to have 400,000 downloads a month. If they do, that's a problem, in my opinion. There
Yeah,
shouldn't be that
it
many
would not.
people wanting to learn payroll. No. But the content that we've been able to put together so far, the host, is, I mean, it's really top level. It's really top level. And there are opportunities for people to really, truly learn by listening. It's not just passing the time anymore. And especially as we get in, I think, more into some of the others, like executive coaching and leadership and motivational and training, wellness. There's a lot of learning opportunities for people. So we're not just going to be an audio network. We'll have opportunities for people, I think, once they start to really listen, to see that there are other opportunities there for learning and just expanding knowledge.
Nobody's going to listen or read or pay attention to the first 50 you do of anything, keynotes, blogs, videos, whatever.
Agreed.
So William, tell me, what's your reaction to that? And do you want to expand on that?
Oh, 100%. The thing is don't overthink it. Don't have analysis paralysis. I think when we say quality, we've talked about video quality, we've talked about audio quality, very important if you're doing those things, but really it's content quality. And so for those first 50 episodes, if you could just focus on creating something that's entertaining, inspirational, educational, etc., whatever your bid is, then just do that. Some people podcast, and they podcast in a persona.
Yeah.
I can't pull that off. So I just podcast as myself. It is what it is. But some people have that persona, and so they put that persona forth, which is great. But the first 50, I would advise just get the content right, that you like the content. Don't worry about other people liking the content, because then you'll get caught up in what people like and what they don't like disregard. Just do you and create. If you're going to do interviews, have really interesting people on your show. It's one of the things I like about both yours and Felicia's show and Gene and Kate's show with Up Next. They just have really interesting guests, and they just explore stuff. And it's like, I like that.